Since the beginning of the organized fire service, local clergy have served as chaplains. A spiritual presence in the fire department can help in many ways. First of all, like any other household, a firehouse has its own dynamics with stresses and challenges. Obviously, one of those things necessary in a firehouse is flexibility, because your plans get interrupted all the time. But also having a pastor in the firehouse can help insulate and encourage family members during times of difficulty and stress and challenges and so forth. A chaplain also helps to add dignity and honor to important ceremonies like this. I mean, after all, you could go home if it weren't for me having to flap my gums. Chaplains also remind you that serving and protecting a community through the fire service or any government agency is nothing less than a divine call. Now, I believe that. I believe that caring for and protecting people is a good work, and it is God's work. And that's the mission that I am on, to make sure that every firehouse that I come into contact with knows that they are about the Master's business. So let me mention the idea of the separation between church and state, because inevitably that comes up. It was rooted in the belief that government should not have control over the church, not to expel God from government. We are not free from religion in this country. We are free to pursue our religion. The executive, legislative, and judicial branches of our government have all called upon God and used the Holy Bible throughout the history of our great nation. There is a clear biblical foundation that's actually outlined in the Bible, and it's for all government agencies to know and understand. I'd like to read that foundation to you, found in the book of Romans, chapter 13. I'm just going to read verses 1 through 7. Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists the ordinance of God, and those who resist will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same. For he is God's minister to you for good. But if you do evil, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is God's minister, an avenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. Therefore you must be subject, not only because of wrath, but also for conscience sake. Because of this you also pay taxes, for they are God's ministers, attending continually to this very thing. Render therefore to all their due, taxes to whom taxes are due, customs to whom customs, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. Did you notice the expression God's minister? Webster defines the word minister as a person acting for another, an agent carrying out given orders or designs. Government agencies, that includes police, fire, and EMS, hold ordination papers from the highest authority in the universe, acting as God's agent to care for people and to safeguard their property. Separating church and state has been degraded to separating faith and state. And it is in the best interest of this community to make sure that we do something about it. Officers in the fire service are entrusted with a great responsibility, that of overseeing and managing this divine charge. So, Lieutenant, welcome to the ministry. Oh, man, it's going to be a good one, I'll tell you. Amen. Yes, amen. Ordained into the ministry of saving lives and protecting property. First, for the personnel under your care, and then second, for the community you serve, because you have to take care of your family first. I'd like to share 3 basic principles that every government agency needs to understand, at least this. First, although authority is given by God, it is recognized and managed by us men here on earth. It is divine in principle, but it's human in its application. So, the level of integrity, honor, and professionalism varies from agency to agency. The badge and the uniform and all the equipment are symbols of that authority. So with that badge comes responsibility in and out of uniform. The men and women behind the badge are only human. Families at home are often sacrificed on the altar of service and should receive special considerations and a special set of watchful eyes. Your chaplain watching over you. Second, acknowledgement of and cooperation with these biblical principles does not hinder the service that you provide, nor does it violate anyone's civil rights. It actually completes the service to your community. God belongs in the squad cars and the fire engines just as much as He belongs in church buildings, but you don't always find Him there because of political correctness. To serve and protect people is a God-given ministry. It's a divine call. It's not just a job. The entire community benefits from their government agencies keeping God where He belongs, within the infrastructure and within the chain of command. Third, you are an essential part of a team. Each component is dependent upon the other for success. So here are the three components: family, church, and state. Family, because a healthy and successful career in the fire service is possible because of a healthy and successful family life at home. Church, you cannot separate faith and service. It's God's big idea for us to care for each other. We simply answer that call. And state, government is 1/3 of a divine equation and must learn how to function in cooperation with the other parts. Man, I'm doing a good job. Come on, somebody. Woo! One last vital point for you in the fire service, Lieutenant. A firefighter becomes part of a brotherhood, a second family. Brothers in a family take care of each other. Sometimes, however, family at home may feel left out or disconnected. Chaplains can help bridge the gap that may develop, not by taking the place of someone's pastor or spiritual support, but by being in addition to. Moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, and daughters have a chaplain too. Isn't that good to know? You get your very own chaplain. So what I'd like to do is remind you, before I read something here, that the chaplain will remind you that what you do is a divine work. The chaplain is a spiritual presence. The chaplain is a faith-based resource. The chaplain helps you understand that you are in a partnership with God. I'd like to have us all repeat the firefighter's prayer together. That is on your inside cover there of the program, our firefighter's prayer. And I'd like to say this with you together. When the alarm sounds and we answer the call, keep us safe, Lord, one and all. Defending life and property is a noble, sacred trust. We acknowledge it's of you, Lord, holy and just. To ease their pain and suffering, we bring our training and our skills to intervene on their behalf and work your perfect will. We choose to lay our life down for brother and fellow man. To have loving support at home is the only way we can. And though my family's burden may seem too hard to bear, we ask of you, dear Lord, help them know you are always near. Amen. Chief, that about does it for me. Thank you all. God bless you.